So you were originally driven to write fantasy. Were you reading a lot of fantasy? And when you decided to make it historical romance, had you already been reading historical romance? What was your transition like for that?
So I was a latchkey kid and I stole my mom's library books before we had a good internet connection. I'm dating myself a little bit, and she was reading historical romance always. So I was reading a lot of things I probably shouldn't have been reading. We're talking bias rippers here, but I would steal her library books. So I've been reading historical romance forever. And I actually started when I was young reading historical fiction. I was a big American Girl fan. So I've been reading historical fiction my whole life, and I actually read that more than fantasy. I think the fantasy idea had just been percolating when I finally sat down to write it. It'd been percolating for so long that I wanted to give it a shot, but I wasn't sad about scrapping it.
Okay. And which American Girl doll do you identify with the most?
Kirsten. I was blonde with the bangs and everything too. My hair got darker as I got older, but I actually looked quite a bit like her too. So I dressed as her for Halloween and everything.
Did you have hair long enough to try to
Mhm. It was
approximate her
long
braids?
enough, and my mom would do it in the little braids and everything.
Amazing.
And she sewed me the whole blue dress with the red apron and the bonnet and the whole thing.
Amazing.
It
Amazing.
was it was delightful. Yeah, my love of reading and everything was due to my mom. She passed away in December, but she was
Oh.
my first beta reader for everything. So she's read the smutty scenes. So it's been a little bit hard to write now that she passed, but I have a few friends who've stepped up to be my first as we go chapter readers. So
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. That's
thank
really
you.
hard.
But it's nice. It feels close to her though, still to keep writing and reading. So
Yeah.
every time I read a book, I'm like, she would have loved that. She probably already read
Yeah.
it, and I just don't know it.
So, which of the historical romance authors that you read then or now would you say have influenced your work the most?
I love a rompin' fun time. So I tend to veer towards Tessa Dare, Sarah McLean. I read a lot of the Bridgerton novels before I got a little annoyed with the Duke and I kind of rape scene. That really bothered me. But before that, I read a lot of Bridgerton. I also really like some of the indie authors. Idra Richards, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, does not get enough love. I work closely with Laura, who also breaks the rules a little bit and throws a male book. Laura Lynn throws a male book in the middle of her male female series as well. That's kind of how we became friends. And we also are willing to kill a main character. That's my other rule
Ooh,
breaking. Book four is a novella, and the character is a widow in books one through three, and it's the story of her first love. And then book five is her happily ever after.
mm,
But yeah, I am willing to kill a main character. That one's not a romance, it's historical fiction, but it's in the middle of my romance series, which is one of the things I like about being an indie author. I'm allowed to throw in a male and throw in a not happily ever after into the middle of my series, and no one can tell me no. So